Greetings, GISD community. This is Dr. Stewart with another Student Spotlight. Today, I have with me Landon Wootenchamp, fifth grade student here at Gainesville Intermediate. Landon, how you doing this morning?
Great.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for joining me. All right,
Okay.
let's jump right into our questions. Let's get to know a little bit more about you. Tell us about your family, your mom, dad, brothers, sisters, pets.
Okay. My brothers are amazing, but sometimes they can get me a little mad. My mom works hard and makes sure we're all doing okay. And my pet is named Athena. She's a great pet, but sometimes she just takes all the spots on the couch.
Now you mentioned brothers. So how many brothers do you have?
Two.
Two. They're younger or older or both?
Young.
Two younger brothers? Okay. So what do you like to do for fun when you're not in school?
Sometimes I like playing with my brothers, and sometimes like making forts with the couch cushions. And then I also like science experiments, so sometimes I do those.
Well, I thought I was the only young man. When I was a young man your age, we used to do that as well. Build a little forts with all the pillows from the couch.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad to know that's still a thing nowadays. All right, so Landon, if your mom or dad had to describe you in one word, what would it be?
I actually asked my mom about this one. They said dedicated, and I'm pretty sure they meant because I like am encouraged in what I do, and I like keep trying until it's done.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like the old saying goes, you fall, you got to pick yourself right back up, right? And you like to see it through and make sure that you complete your task. I like that. So, now that we're, it's crazy to believe, man, we're in February of this school year. Time is flying by so fast. And coming up fast is our spring break. So do you have anything coming up over spring break or this upcoming summer that you're excited about?
Hanging out with my friends, maybe going to the beach.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that stuff.
It's always a good time when you hang out with your friends, right? Okay, so now let's talk about school. What is one thing you think that you do well as a student?
I think one thing that I do good as a student is being curious.
Talk to me about your curiosity. Talk to me about being curious.
I always ask questions and I always want to learn more. And yeah.
That's a great trait to have, especially in this position in your life. Being that sponge to soak up all the knowledge that you can, so that as you get older, you're just a little bit more knowledgeable.
Okay.
So now let's get to more of a class specifics. What is your favorite subject to learn, and why does it interest you?
I would say science because there's so many cool things that you can learn, and I really want to be a paleontologist whenever I grow up.
All right, so Landon, you mentioned science being your favorite course. What is one of the coolest things that you've done in science?
Well, I would say mixtures and solutions because we did this really fun lab where we layered different types of liquids basing on their density.
What do you think is the most important quality for a teacher to have?
I would think patience with your students and being honest
Why are those key to you?
because I don't want like a teacher to be like not honest and so it doesn't hurt our feelings and I would want them to be honest so we know how we're doing in class.
And also to be understanding of the students, understanding everyone comes to the table with a different level of academia. So you want to make sure that you understand your kids and that you're setting them up for success. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of teachers, who has been your favorite teacher throughout GISD so far and why?
Probably Miss Henry because she's really nice to us. She's honest and she is a really good teacher.
Okay. So this year, we kicked off a new initiative that I think that you're pretty excited about, and that's robotics. Why did robotics interest you?
I really want to learn how to code and figure out the engineering design process, and that's why robotics really interests me.
And I'll tell you, Landon, there's been a high level of interest in the robotics program. And in all the competitions thus far, all of our teams are doing very, very well. So you are definitely in the right place to learn coding, as well as other aspects of engineering that'll take you, far into the future. So keep it up, all right?
Okay.
So speaking of your robotics, Landon, how has it been so far, and what have you learned?
So far, it's been great. I learned that it's always great to have a good plan in robotics and to follow the engineering design process because you never know what you're going to team up with or go against.
And I've spoken to some other young people as well about the robotics program, and they like the whole team aspect. You have the driver, you have the scribe, and so there's several different people with several different roles, and so it's true teamwork that determines the success of the robot during competitions.
Yes.
Okay, so now let's talk about it let's look at the school. Let's talk about the school. How has your experience been at the intermediate campus?
It's been great. I've been having fun, learning a lot, and yeah.
Okay. So what is the biggest difference in school this year compared to last year at Chalmers?
I would say like that y'all had taken out a whole bunch of stuff and put in new stuff like advisory and different periods, and that y'all took out recess. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah, you're getting a little older. When you get older, you start losing those things like recess and etc.
Yep.
Yeah, folks are more on it. You start getting electives. You get to start doing some more fun stuff in school. You know. Okay, so now as a fifth grader here at the intermediate campus, do you have any advice for fourth graders coming into intermediate next year that will help them as they make this transition?
I would say that like don't think over it too much because it's really fun and like even though there's no recess, you're still gonna have fun and don't overthink anything.
Wise words. So now let's talk about the future. Next year, you get to start taking elective courses like band, choir, and art. What opportunities are you most excited about next year?
I would say art because I really like drawing and the idea of making whatever you want.
Okay. So, so now let's have a little fun. Have a little fun. If you had to eat only one food for the rest of your life, what would it be and why?
Brownies because they're really good and they're sweet.
Okay. Some brownies. Okay. And then also, if you were entered into a talent contest, what would your talent be?
I would have to say about this one acting.
Acting. Okay. So, are you involved in, any acting? Do just theater something that you'd be interested in as you get a little older?
Um, I would say like kind of because I'm in theater class and I learn a lot about stage directions, and I would probably make some props in that.
Okay. Sounds good. Well, Landon, I can't tell you enough how impressive it is to sit here with you and ask you these questions and learn while learning more about you. So that formally concludes all the questions that I have to ask. So I always like to give our students an opportunity to ask me a question. Do you have a question for me today?
If you could make 3 wishes, what would they be and why?
Ooh, if I could make 3 wishes, what would they be and why? I would say one is, really kind of tied to my job. As an educator, I want to see all of our kids thrive. I want to see all of their needs being met, and I want to see opportunities for all kids. So if I could wave a magic wand throughout not just our country, but our world, I would love to see a system where every kid's needs were met, every kid thrived, and were adequately prepared for whatever the future held in store for them. Whether they decide to go off to college, become entrepreneurs, the military, or get introduced to the workforce, I would love to see a system where we truly prepared kids globally for an ever-changing world. Because by the time you become my age, the world would have changed threefold. So I definitely want to make sure that our students are prepared and ready, whether they're from Gainesville or from Hollywood, California. I want to make sure that our kids are prepared and ready to be contributing members of society. Um, Wish number two um, is, I guess, it's personal. It would be just that, again, as we talk about being, people being prosperous. I have three daughters. I would love to see all of them reach their goals um, without fail. I mean, they are some wonderful young ladies, and of course, I'm kind of biased because I'm their father. But I would love to see them reach the highest goals that they set for themselves. Um, Goal number three. Landon, this is a great question. Ugh. Goal number three, a wish, would be, I don't know. I guess another one would be personal. It would be just to live a long and prosperous life. To make sure that when it's all said and done, Landon, I want to feel as if I've made a difference. When I get old and get to the end of my rope, I want to be able to look back upon my career and say, you know what, I made a difference. I made a difference in Gainesville, Texas. I made a difference in Killeen, Texas. I made a difference in Crowley, Texas, and all those are districts that I've worked in. Um, that's something that's a personal charge to myself, is I want to be a difference maker. And it makes me feel good when years later I see Landon, being a big time engineer, doing great things in the world. I can look back and say, I remember when we did our student spotlight over at the intermediate campus when he was in fifth grade. Now look at him, he's a big time engineer. That's something that's really near and dear to me, is at the end of the day, living a long and prosperous life, but also having made a difference in the lives of students. Man, that was an awesome question, man. You made me have to think on that one a little bit. Great question. Well, GIZ community, Landon Wooten Champ, fifth grader here at Gainesville Intermediate.